Welcome back to the Playdate by Freshly Picked. I'm your host, Kaitlin Hansen.
And I'm Rachel Miller.
Rachel, how are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. It's been a pretty good, productive day so far. So no complaints. And the sun is shining.
Yes.
Which is nice. It's been frigid.
I know, but I'd rather it be sunny than snowy.
Yeah.
Like as far as winter goes, it's been good.
Oh, for sure. And if you hear any little baby noises on this episode, it is because we've got cute little Scotty next to us. Today, we are doing a mom catch-up because how many weeks have you been a mom now?
3.
3 weeks.
Exactly 3 almost.
Oh my goodness. So I just wanted to, just kind of chat about how things are going, how you're doing. Tell us a little bit about, what your days kind of consisted of.
Yeah, I feel like the first 2 weeks, and I feel like everyone says this, the first 2 weeks, you're kind of just like figuring it out. Like, you're like kind of surviving, which I feel like everyone was like, you're just surviving, which like kind of scared me. I feel like I was like, am I going to be dying? Which like that wasn't true. Like it was fine, but I was like, you can't like be on a really like a schedule or anything. You're just figuring it out. But she's been so good and sleeping pretty good as far as like newborns go.
Yeah, tell me about like her sleep.
Yeah, I mean, she's good that she gets up just like when she needs something. It's not like she's like screaming, crying for no reason. It's just like, and she doesn't even cry. She'll just like get up and like
grunt and whine a little bit.
And then I'm like, okay, she's hungry, and then she goes back to sleep. Like she's so good.
Okay,
it's been good.
Yay, I love that. And then are you having to wake her up to feed her at all, or
not anymore? We did the first 2 weeks, and she's only 6 pounds, so she's like so tiny. So I was like, I feel like she needs to eat.
Right.
But then at her 2-week appointment, she had gained a pound. So they're like, she's good, like back to birth weight, like past birth weight. So now we just feed her when she wants to. So
okay, and she's in a bassinet on the side of your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fun. Do you feel like you can sleep well, or do you feel like you like can kind of hear her or like listen for her? Like, do you feel like it's like restful sleep? Because I know like when you're adjusting, sometimes it's like, oh gosh.
I feel like I do sleep pretty well at first. So we have like the Nanit monitor.
Yes.
And we used the breathing band with it, which I know you're like not technically supposed to use it on a swaddle because it can like.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I guess the band can like work its way up and suffocate them. But like we're trying to be like safe about it, but there's like no other way to use it.
Right.
I think it's better for older kids because it can go under their arms. Yeah. But I was like, I still want like a way to know if she's breathing.
For sure.
So we did that, but then we got like a false alarm and it scared us so bad that I was like, I just don't even want to use this. Like I was more scared of having a false alarm than like something happening. And I'm like, I'm up with her every like 2-3 hours anyway. Like,
so you're like, you'll be good.
I know she's alive. She's fine. So
that actually,
we don't use it anymore.
That's how we were with our Owlette. Is
false alarm,
like a few false alarms, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore because there is nothing that like you wake up in the night just like sheer panic.
Yeah, it scared us so bad. I was just like sobbing. Like I knew everything was fine, and like I knew it was a false alarm, but I was just so scared that I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore.
Right, and I know it's like amazing because I've heard so many stories of like it saving babies' lives and things like that, but also I'm like, you got to do what's going to be good for like your peace of mind.
Yeah, totally. And stuff. I think when she's in a different room from us, like when we're not right next to her, I think I'd use it again. But I'm like, she's right next to us anyway. Like, right. I don't know, but
Okay. I love that. And then you have 2 dogs, little small cockapoos.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I know that what they are, but I was like guessing.
What is it called?
I blinked for a second. How did they do adjusting to like bring her home? I mean, they've been around kids because of like my kids and
they've been around babies, so it wasn't like totally shocking to them, but they've been so good. They've been so sweet. And I thought they'd be like crazy, like wanting to lick her face, but they're like so gentle with her and it's so sweet. And like
so cute.
They're just like the best little babysitters. Like anytime she cries, they're like right there. And, like, what can we do? And then like last night there was like a baby crying on the TV. And then our dog Fenway like ran into our room to like check on her. Like it wasn't even her, but like he already like was like, oh my gosh, like the baby's crying. And I'm like, they're just so sweet. They've been so good.
Okay, I love that. And then tell me about, are you breastfeeding?
No.
Yeah.
I like gave up on that pretty quick, honestly.
I think that's great.
But like I feel fine about it.
Okay, because
But
last time I talked to you, you were
I
a
was
little
like
bit.
kind of trying, but like I've never like super consistent. Like I'm sure if I really tried, I could like make it work, but it's just like honestly not like something. She's getting fed, like it's fine, but we're doing a combo. I am pumping, which is like arguably way more work than
that's what I hear.
But it's just nice for us because then my husband can feed her. I pump and we do formula combo. So I'm like,
you know how I feel. Yeah. I'm like, you know how I feel about breastfeeding. I'm like, if it works for you, great, do it. I think that's like amazing and incredible. But the second it starts to be anything that weighs on you from like a mental perspective, or it becomes too tricky with the baby, or I don't know, like it's just not worth it. And I agree, like fed is best. And there was some comfort, at least for me, I felt, and especially with like pumping, because I tried to do like the pumping for a minute and then I was like, okay, this isn't working.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm like, I was quick to ditch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to like put more additional pressure on myself. Again, I think it's so incredible if you're able to do it and it works for you. But the second I stopped doing it, I was 10 times happier.
Yeah.
And I loved that I could see exactly how much my baby was getting.
That was the other part of it is I actually have a friend who like, she's been breastfeeding. She's been great at it. She's like so passionate about breastfeeding. But then like her baby, they went to a doctor's office and her baby was like super underweight, but she had no clue she wasn't getting enough. Like you just don't even know.
Right.
Like, and she's like, I feed her a ton. Like I'm doing all the things, but you just don't know totally how much they're eating. So I liked knowing exactly like she's eating this much.
Yes. And like this time.
Like,
okay. So that's nice. Are you using the Baby Breeza?
Yes, that was the best thing ever. And it was one of those things I actually didn't have it on my registry because I was like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't know if I was going to breastfeed or if I didn't know if I would end up using it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have it on my registry. So like when I had my showers and stuff, like that wasn't on my registry. Yeah. But then my husband's work was like, oh, send us your registry. So I kind of was like, okay, maybe I'll just like put it on there before I send it to them because like I feel like that's a good like work gift.
Yeah.
And so we got it from my husband's work.
So good.
And I don't know why I loved like men giving that to another man because they're like, we're useless. We can't feed a baby, but like here's something to help you feed a baby. But
I bet I can like think of somebody that I bet was like a contributor of that. I bet like Greg was like,
it was like, oh yeah, this is nice. Yeah.
Okay. So for those that don't know or like didn't remember, Rachel's also my sister-in-law. I can't remember if I said that or not. Rachel's my sister-in-law and her husband works with Rachel's cousin's husband. Yeah, cousin.
Yeah.
And they had twins. And so I'm like, they know efficiency.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And they're like not ones to like, they're like, we're getting what's gonna work and like what's gonna be
so she does my mom's hair though, and she says she pumped for 11 months for twins.
Wait, that shocks me.
Yeah, I know. Which I'm sure maybe they like.
I'm like so impressed.
Yeah, but I'm like, my goal honestly with pumping is like 3 months.
Yeah, no, I think that's
like
great.
my goal.
I think
and I'm like 11 months pumping for twins. That sounds.
I mean,
crazy.
You know, I didn't even let like Nora latch.
Yeah, you're kind
of after my second. I'm like, I'm not doing a C-section recovery and trying.
Oh my gosh, no.
Trying to breastfeed. I'm like, that's too much. Okay, that's amazing. Tell me, so did Hunter, your husband, did he get any time off for after Scotty was born?
Yeah, so he gets 8 weeks, which is so nice because I feel like so many like other men in his life are like, I got a weekend or like 2 weeks or something. So I feel like he has a pretty long time. But honestly, after the second week,
I'm sure he was bored.
I was like, you should like go back to work.
Yeah.
If I had like other kids, I think I'd like really want him there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like kind of to the point now. It's really helpful having him. He's super helpful, especially with the dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like on week 3 now. And yeah, he's so bored. And so I think he's actually going to go back. He took off the whole month of January and then he's going to take off Mondays and Fridays. Like
a ease in transition.
Yeah. So he'll still be around, but then he can still work. And then that way it's not like crazy coming back. Like it's more work for him to like be gone that long. So it works out great.
Okay,
so,
that's amazing. Yeah. That's so nice to have, that support and have him be able to be flexible with that, especially because you're like, I don't know how things will be.
Yeah.
So,
so like could have happened. But yeah, now I'm kind of like, you can leave your we're just chilling, and at least one of us should get out of the house. So
yeah. Okay, well, I know we're gonna do rapid fire, but I just wanted to what was one of the biggest I just want to ask this. What was one of the biggest surprises for you when you got home?
I don't know. I think people really scared me. They were the newborn trenches, which I feel like, if anything, it's probably getting harder after the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like the first 2 weeks, they're literally just potatoes.
Yeah.
And it
I always say pet rocks.
Yeah,
in the
no,
most
honestly,
loving way.
But I feel like everyone scared me so much. And then I was like, okay, wait, this isn't bad. I feel fine. I mean, maybe if I had a worse recovery, for myself, maybe I would be this is the worst, but it hasn't been too bad. I feel like it's just been way easier. Even my husband's this was way easier than I thought. Everyone made it seem so scary, and it's hard, but I think we were just ready to be parents also.
Sure.
I think if people were in different phases of lives, maybe it would be a little bit more shocking, but yeah, I think so far it's been just better than we thought.
Yay.
So, yeah.
Okay, good. And I know people hate when you compare dogs to babies and things. But I will say, I do think it helps if you've had an animal or something to take care of, just that responsibility of being yeah, I just need to keep thinking about it, even though it is not the same. And a baby is so much more work.
Yeah.
But I'm I think that kind of does prep you in a way just to be in that mindset.
Well, and especially I got up in the night with my dogs and they had to be it's not I've never had to get up in the middle of the night to tend to something before.
Right.
So I feel that it does kind of, it's not the same, but I do think it kind of preps you.
Yeah, I'm it's just the nature of taking care of something else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a dog. It could be, anything else. But I think that does, it could be a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think it does kind of prep you just to think and but I know that triggers some people to compare.
I know. I always say that. I'm yeah, it's like dogs, and people are it's not the same. I'm to me it is though.
Yeah, I'm they're still my babies.
I thought of my dogs as my babies. So I'm the emotional connection I have to my dogs is kind of the same. So.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I'm I have 2 dogs. I'm gonna fight still with one of them. Penny. But no, I'm they're my first little babies and loves, and have been there during hard times. And I'm you're not replaced. It's just a little different.
Yeah. That was the one thing. My doctor told me I'd probably have baby blues right after.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sad or anything, but I was so emotional about our dogs. I was I just ruined their life.
No.
I don't get to hang out with them as much.
Yeah.
And I'm they're literally fine. But that was my one thing that I was okay, I think this is baby blues because I'm way too emotional about this. Yeah. And then I was okay, I'm fine. They're fine. Everything's fine. But that was my one thing that just made me so sad.
Well, I feel after you have a baby, obviously your hormones are surging. And so it's sometimes interesting what little things can set you off. I remember crying because I wanted a Cafe Rio salad and I didn't get the dressing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I would cry about
and
that.
And I was just
day, honestly.
I was just unwell. I was just I don't even want to eat this salad, and I'm devastated. And I'm this is not. Actually, that is a big deal. I will just say,
honestly,
you can't eat the salad without that creamy tomatillo.
Yeah. No, I think on a normal day, I'd be pretty upset about that.
But it's just funny, what kind of things you cling to, and what makes you cry, and what kind of things can set you off there.
It's so crazy. But I feel you're aware of it though. You're I know this isn't valid, but I'm just so emotional about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Crazy.
Okay, I just want to have you touch on this really quickly because I don't think this is talked about a lot. But okay, so you had planned and brought clothes and items and things to the hospital, but little Scotty was smaller.
She was so tiny
than expected.
Yeah.
So
which is not what I expected at all.
No.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice around that? Just get one of every size?
Yeah,
or
honestly. Well, so I thought she was gonna be massive because I was a 9-pound baby.
Yeah.
My husband was big.
I had big babies.
Yeah, so I'm
your family just
we're
has
gonna
big
have
babies.
I was fully prepared to have a big baby. So I brought, honestly, when I first packed my hospital bag, I just had 0 to 3 because I'm she's probably gonna be big, that'll fit. And then last minute, I was I'll just throw in a newborn thing in case she's small.
Yeah.
She was 6 pounds. She
But
the
like
newborn
tiny,
stuff
tiny
was
6 pounds.
drowning her. She like did not even fit the newborn stuff. So you were so sweet. You got us like a
nice.
preemie. Honestly, the magnetic me jammies.
They're so good.
They're so good, and I'm gonna be so sad. She still fits it. It's like literally a preemie one. But yeah, we had to get like preemie stuff for her.
But even the preemie stuff, like some of the preemie stuff, like they're not all sized the same, and some of that was like big.
Yeah, it kind of The magnetic me one fit like perfect and like still fits. But then my mom brought some Carter stuff that was like kind of small.
I feel like Carter's run small in general.
So it kind of was hard. But yeah, I'm like, that was a shock to me. I did not think I was gonna have a 6-pound baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just bring like one of everything. Unless you're like so sure you're gonna have a big baby. But
I mean, they told me Liv was gonna be, they were like, it looks like she'll be like 6 pounds. And she came out like almost 9 pounds and 22 and a half inches long. So I'm like, you are way off. Like you just never know.
Yeah, it's so off. Like, there's just no way to know. Because I think when they do the sizing ultrasound, it's off by like plus or minus like 2 pounds or something. You're like, that's like kind of a lot for
that's like
a baby.
Correct of an estimate.
Yeah, I feel like I would just like bring one of everything just because you never know.
Yeah. I remember too, that was one thing that I was like, my baby doesn't have clothes that fit.
I know.
And I'm like, you want them like to have, like you think that you're all prepared with all this stuff. And it's like the power of just like having, even if it's just one article of clothing that fits, like makes everything just feel a little bit better.
Because you're not like, you like feel unprepared when you like, you just spent 9 months like preparing for them. And then you get there and you're like, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you just like feel so sad. But
no,
we have like a couple things that fit her. So
yay.
But she's growing. She's good. So
I love it. Well, thank you for coming on this mom catch up, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, see ya.
Thanks.